providing for Facebook or other platforms to measure and publicly share the impact of misinformation on their platform and the audience it's reaching. Also with the public, with all of you, to create robust enforcement strategies that bridge their properties and provide transparency about rules. You shouldn't be banned from one platform and not others for providing misinformation out there.
So you heard it right, folks. That was the White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki essentially saying this is going to be the end of private company competition. If you're banned on one platform, you need to be banned on them all. And she wouldn't be saying this if this isn't actually being talked about in their discussions with these social media sites. Now, piece this together with everything that's going on, and we're living in some really scary times right now. When you actually pay attention, it's important that we pay attention to what's going on, what moves the government and these companies are making in unison. And I've already talked about some of the major moves this week. Quite a bit has been dropped. For instance, on Monday, it was reported that the White House was in concert, not only with social media, but trying to reach out to cell phone carriers to limit the transmission of information via text as well. Go ahead and check that video out. I did on Monday. Then 2 days later, it came out straight from the horse's mouth of the White House that they were, in fact, working in concert with Facebook to flag and censor information and or accounts. Go check that video out. And then just yesterday, now Jen Psaki announces this. Now, we know that they're in concert and working with social media sites. They've admitted to that as much. They may even be working with cell phone carriers now to not only record and capture what it is you're saying and or texting, but then to, again, censor your dissemination of said information. But I believe they are talking about whether it be Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, to work together to say, all right, if we're going to delete this person's account on Facebook, which we'll also probably do on our sister site, Instagram, but you need to do this, Jack Dorsey, over there on Twitter, and the people over there in Google, which is also owns YouTube. You need to also censor this information, this individual, and potentially everywhere, because just because Facebook may have some asinine policies on there that checks every blue check mark, they're saying that Rockfin, Odyssey, Rumble, Parler should also be in agreement with it. Not to mention, we already know Twitter and YouTube are all in concert with Facebook. They're all on the same page. What community standards they have on one page, they enforce it on the other, and then the other. So there really isn't as much competition when you just think about the level of market control that Facebook, Google, and Twitter have, anywhere within a ballpark of 88 to 94% of control of the internet and or share market for information, video content, etc. Just those three in concert, which we know they have already been working in concert together. We saw this with the White Coat Summit ban of doctors like Dr. Emmanuel, what was her name? Dr. Emmanuel Stella Emmanuel, as well as Dr. Simone Gold. They did this viral video back in July of 2020, and it was deleted by all of these sites all within the same couple of hours. Like, oh no, we told you to listen to healthcare professionals, but not these. They have specifically chosen a side with the CDC and the World Health Organization, and any other medical expert opinion is not allowed, not even allowed to be discussed. They've gone out of their way to delete accounts and or videos and posts from medical professionals, experts, scientists, practicing doctors that go against the chosen narrative that they've decided. And so now they're saying, if we hold these standards on our platform, you need to be hold to the same accountability on any other platform. That's what they're literally saying, and we need to stand up united against it. This is very troubling information to hear, very authoritarian, dystopian. All right, and so that's the video. We just need to definitely pay attention to what actually is being said and done in the White House or coming from this government. And they had the nerve to call Trump fascist with the level of control that they're trying to hold over the population and what information you're allowed to have. And who decides what is misinformation, by the way? Are they now saying that the government is supposed to be the arbiter of truth? that only they get to decide what is fact and what isn't. And let's not forget all of the things that used to be banned as misinformation or conspiracy theories is now being held as acceptable information. For instance, it all started, for instance, with the Hunter Biden story that was being banned all across the media and social media prior to the election in order to protect Joe Biden. And then once he won and mission accomplished, now all of a sudden the information and the story is allowed to be disseminated. What about the theory that the virus disseminated from a lab leak in Wuhan, China, which was being heavily discussed among many, but because it came from former President Donald Trump, oh, you're not allowed to talk about that. That's kooky science. We know because China tells us that this originated from a wet food animal market. And now all of a sudden it's being held as highly probable and or possible. But this was banned not much more than a year ago. But they get to make the decision of what is evolutionary change in information, change in science, change in truth. All right, so this is a very scary time of who's deciding what is and what isn't information, what you as a grown adult or young adult even are allowed to hear, know, and make up your own decision. All right, so that's my story. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment on this video, share this video to fight the algorithm and or the censorship going on across the world and specifically here in the United States. This is Bruce the Boss, resurrected. I'm out. Peace.